Hi, I'm Darlene Washington, and this is Spiritually Intriguing, the Church Edition. We're on our last session with Pastor Chet Johnson of New Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church in Gary, Indiana. Pastor?
Hello.
All right. We're taking on the last issues of our show. So let's get right into it. One of the things that I've noticed is that it seems today that a lot of parents are reluctant to let go of their 20-somethings. Seems like the children that are in their 20s or so are spending more time at home before they leave the nest as well. And I know it has to do with economic factors, but I think it also has to do with a little bit of reluctance by the parents. I think they're afraid to let go because of all of the nuances of issues and things that are going on in the world that are just so powerfully negative. And they just don't know, if it's okay yet. It's like, have I taught them enough? Have I done enough? Are they going to make the right decision? And you just want to make sure you get everything into their heads before you let them go. But that's just what I'm thinking has happened. What do you think? What is the reason why parents are reluctant to let go of their 20-something?
I think there's a combination of things. One is that the dynamics of the playing field that our youth are involved in now has dramatically changed. Their independence is being established at a much earlier age while attaining to less knowledge and information needed to be able to manage themselves with that particular type of independence. So I think the fear is, as you stated, that we're sending kids out or young adults out less prepared. So we have a tendency to want to hold on to them. We spend less time with our children now because of the factors of the economy, both parents having to work. Our children are left to be attended to by other environments that may not be parentally designed. Technology is defining the playing field, and they interact with inanimate things more so. Their interpersonal communication skills are not as sharp and keen as they were when we were coming up. Because they don't engage in conversation. So our children don't talk to us maybe as they used to about what their plans are for life. When I was coming, when we were going to school, we knew what we were going to school for. A lot of kids now, I said I'm going, but they're not sure what they want to go to school for.
They're just going to school. It's like, my parents want me to go to school, so I'm going to school.
Right.
But I have no idea what I really, really want to do.
Right. So there is a fear. There is a fear because the dynamics have changed. So we're holding on to them a lot longer. And it's just something we're going to have to learn to let them go. If you know you've done what you were required to do, just as we were let go, we have to let them go and grow. Prayerfully, we will establish a strong enough traditional base from our family lifestyle to where when they go out and involve themselves in the innovative things, they won't dismiss all of the tradition, but they will build their tradition based on components of the tradition that they grew up on, together with the innovative things that they come in contact with, and those things will establish a sure foundation for them. Monitor them, keep a line of communication with them. But if you don't let them go, eventually you're going to wish that you did, because grown children typically don't work well in the household with their parents.
Right. Yeah, this is true. Too many differences.
Too many differences.
Too many preferences.
Particularly now.
Right, especially.
It's particularly now, it's a big difference.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's it. That's you hit the nail on the head. I can't have anything else to say about that. I totally agree. Another thing when we're talking about coping and getting out here in the world is drugs seem to be claiming the lives of a lot of people these days. And so here's something that I found out about Robin Thicke, which was very interesting. So why are drugs claiming their lives and taking the place of common sense coping? Here's singer Robin Thicke confesses his drug woes. Can't anyone spend a day in real life without being drugged or intoxicated? What is going on? Why can't people of today deal with the things that are going on? So much so that we have these widespread, rampant drug problems. We have all these Hollywood actors and actresses dying. We have mention a childhood actress, and you simply hope that they're not strung out or dead, because almost every single one has got some type of issue in terms of being able to cope with the real world. And then it's not just our singers and entertainers, so to speak, that are having these problems. I mean, it's other people as well. I mean, it's everyday people as well. So what is causing all of this incapability to simply just cope? Is it a lack of faith and spirituality?
No doubt, though drugs has been a part of the culture to some degree, even as far back as our childhood and our parents' childhood, but the rate of change in terms of the availability as well as the acceptance of it as a standard, as a norm, has changed. And I think it has a lot to do again with technology, in terms of how it has taken away the creative abilities of young people to where they're not problem solvers. And if you're not problem solvers, then when you're faced with a problem, you're not going to know how to deal with it. So these avenues become more accessible to you to take it on, because it's out there. It's being waved in front of you, and peer pressure is a stronger component, again, because of not solving the problem. Peer pressure is basically not having made a decision about what's going to be your take on the situation. A drug addict, when he is offered drugs, don't feel any pressure because he decided he's going to do it. A person who has decided they're not going to take drugs, if they're offered drugs, don't feel pressure because they made a decision. Persons who are under the peer pressure are those persons who have not made a decision as to what position they're going to take. And if you're not a problem solver, then you're not a decision maker. And as a result, you become subject to every wind that blows. And spirituality helps establish the groundwork for being a problem solver. And my position has always been, if you know what the problem is and you don't know what the answer is, it makes sense to spend time on what you don't know, which is the answer. And don't dwell on the problem. When you dwell on the problem, you end up getting discouraged, you end up getting frustrated, and all of these offerings, which are a spiritual, it is spiritually, there's more than one spirit that you can follow. There's a godly spirit, there's an ungodly spirit, and those spirits can come in and take dominance in your thought process. And as a result, you can easily yield to it because you don't have any structural integrity. And Christian, because that's what I am, I believe it gives you structural integrity. The Holy Spirit gives you the ability at least to evaluate a decision. You still have to make the decision, but it gives you the basis to choose, and it gives you the strength to be able to make that decision even when the flesh is trying to be drawn to the opposite. But if you don't have that balance inside, most oftentimes you're going to go to where the natural desire is, and it's going to always be in that direction.
I agree with that.
So we're not as strong in our generation. They're not as solid and as rooted in their spirituality. As a result, they become more subject to these things,
to the drugs and the alcohol.
Anything that's negative, they can easily become a part of it.
And I think it's like they feel like it's like when you have a headache. Oh, take some painkiller. Oh, I've got a problem. Oh, get high. You don't have to worry about the problem. You don't have to deal with the problem. The problem is not going anywhere.
It's going to still be there, multiply.
It's just going to multiply. The longer you ignore it, the longer you don't do it, it's just going to stay there. And so Robin Thicke, he's had a glorious year. He did, but he also, it's like he went up and then he went boom. you know, with his marriage ending.
And it affects every aspect of your life. It robs and destroys your life.
Right. Your
like
family,
everything.
Family is like, what is going on with you? Why are you so, so it's astonishing to know that our people in general, our society is becoming so susceptible to these types of things just because they don't have, you know, a certain type of ground.
And now it's being legalized in some states, so it'll probably spread to other states.
And you know, people wanted that, and I'm not ashamed to say that I was rooting for it only because of and then it's like we solved one problem by creating another problem.
That's right.
And so it's like give or take, which is the lesser evil. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why a lot of people were rooting for it was because the justice system was just, they just were just ridiculous in the way they were processing individuals, African Americans and Hispanic people, for drug crimes, such as for marijuana and things of this nature. You know, they'll take a white person and give that person, you get 6 months in jail, whereas a black or Hispanic person is going to get 3-4 years, you know, 10 years, you know, this kind of stuff in jail for the same crime. And so people are like, you know, just legalize it, and then they won't have that way. They don't have no choice but to not do the wrong thing.
Right. And then what that does, it takes the responsibility of educating your youth to not involve themselves with it. It takes that responsibility. It's like anything that is no different than birth control. Yeah. You know, things that if it's wrong, it's wrong. Right. If they ought not do it, they ought not do it. Right. And to make it accessible for them to do it, as long as it does not produce this, then it does not fix the problem.
Right.
And the problem was addiction to marijuana will still be there, even though it was legal, just like it was with alcohol.
Right.
When alcohol was not legal, and it's legal now, you probably got more people drinking now.
Probably.
Same thing with marijuana. You have more people because
and that's
it's
what
legal
they were comparing
now.
it to. People were comparing it to that. They were saying, well, remember inhibition? I'm sorry,
prohibition.
Prohibition.
Yes.
Inhibition. Prohibition. Yeah. Remember that? Which prohibition and inhibition, they really can. They kind of circulate around each other. But you know, it's like wow.
So it's going to have a ripple effect that's going to be negative. You're going to have more people pulled over. It's probably, if they say more accidents are because of minds being altered by marijuana.
And that's what I had said.
That's going to increase.
But then you have to think about it too, just like we're saying. That's the same thing that people were saying back in the day when prohibition was taking place. Right. Everybody was saying that too. And so what I think people are anticipating is that we will be wise enough to behave accordingly because we don't want what do you call a weed DUI now? I mean, what you know, I don't know what you drive. It's still driving under the.
I think it's economics.
It's still driving under the influence.
Money will be made because now you can put laws in place to catch people who break the laws, and so now you can employ laws. If a person is doing this, and there's money to make. Everything is economic. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And when you start, and this is what society does. I mean, that's what it does. You start legalizing things that are bad, and you're doing it for economics. Right. Then it's just going to fester. I doubt very seriously if it proves to be of a value in the sense that people are better off. Yeah, I think they'll be worse off.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to see, but hopefully it won't. I just want people to have better coping skills, and that's why I have the program Spiritually Intriguing, because I know people have issues out there, and then it's good just to just get access to ways to cope, and this is one of the ways to cope: having faith and having a clean spiritual mind. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a lot easier on you than the drugs and alcohol. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, trust me in that. I've never done it, but trust me in that I've seen it done. Yeah. Amen to that. Anyway, that about does it for this issue of Spiritually Intriguing Church Edition. I want to thank you so much for taking time.
And thank you for allowing me to share with you.
My pleasure. Just awesome answers. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.